Good God morning. Good morning. How's everyone? Let's wait and see what's going to happen. Oh, look, you can see this, huh? My notes are there. I love that. How is this going to work? Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. So we have this TV and we have our phone. How is everyone? Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Facebook. What is it? What's going on in here? Quick and easy. Oh, Father God, we give you strength. We give you, and you give us strength. We allow you in our heart to open our hearts, our minds, to speak and think and be you walking on this planet, for you have given us that domain. For we can change our experiences just by going within. For this, we are grateful. For this, we say thank you.
I didn't understand that.
Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Another day on this planet Earth, seeking to go further.
I didn't understand.
Further, Lord. That's where we want to go. So, what's going on today? How is everyone? I hope everyone is smiling. Today's lesson, A Course in Miracles, lesson 45. God is the mind with which I think. Let's say that. God is the mind in which I think. God is the mind with which I think. God is the mind with which I think. What does that mean? God is my everything. God is always with me. God is who I am. He gave me that. When he created me, he put his spirit in us all. We've talked about God is with the eyes that we see. And now we're talking about the mind of God within us. Today's idea holds the key to what your real thoughts are. That reminds me of a book that a friend of mine wrote, The Thoughts of Mine. I think it's in Ecclesiastic, where he says, what should you think? And he tells you, right? So we're on the same vein as the Bible. There are nothing that you think, just as nothing that you think you see is related to vision in any way. Nothing. If you're not thinking the mind of thought, there's no mind of God, there's no vision. That was the lesson the day before yesterday. Vision is his gift. When you link and come into alignment with the thoughts of God, the source, the creator. There is no relationship between what is real and what you think is real. Nothing that you think are real or your real thoughts resemble your real thoughts in any aspect. Your real thoughts. Those thoughts of God. Those thoughts given by God, with God, in God. Nothing that you think are your real thoughts. Nothing. Nothing that you think you see bears any resemblance to what vision will show you. You think with the mind of God, therefore you share your thoughts with him as he shares his with you. Yes, yes. To share is to make alike or to make one. Nor do the thoughts you think with the mind of God leave your mind. Never do they leave, because thoughts do not leave their source. Therefore, your thoughts are in the mind of God as you are. Yes, as you are. They are your mind as well. Where He is, you are, and vice versa. Where you are, He is. Yes? As you are a part of His mind, so are your thoughts a part of His mind. Yes. Where then are your real thoughts? Today, we will have to look for them in your mind, because that is where they are. They must still be there because they cannot be left. They cannot have left their source. No matter what you think, there's no separation. What thought by the mind of God is eternal, always being a part of creation. Mm. Whoa. Let's take that one in. They never leave God, and nor do you. Our 3 5 minute practices periods for today will take the same general form that we've been used to apply the yesterday's lesson. We will attempt to leave the unreal and seek for the real. We will deny the world in favor of truth. We will not let the thoughts of the world hold us back. We will not let the beliefs of the world tell us that what God would have us do is impossible. There is no impossible. Never. We will try to recognize that only what God would have us do is possible. We can change the world just by believing that. We will also try to understand that only what God would have us do is what we want to do. And we will also try to remember that we cannot fail in doing what He would have us do. There is every reason to feel confident that we will succeed today. It is the will of God. It is the will of God to be successful today, yesterday, and the days coming. Begin this exercise for today by repeating the idea to yourself, closing your eyes as you do so. Then spend a fairly short period thinking of a few relevant thoughts of your own, keeping the idea in mind. After you have added some 4 or 5 thoughts of your own to the idea, repeat it again and tell yourself gently, my real thoughts are in my mind. I would like to find them. So let's practice. And we say the idea. God is the mind with which I think. God is the mind with which I think. God is the mind in which I think. Think about what you're thinking. Thoughts in mind, they pass through your mind very quickly. Open your eyes and repeat. My real thoughts are in my mind. I would like to find them. I would like to find them. Hi, people. How are you? I am excellent. How are you today? Brian, it's good to see you. How you coming? So, my real thoughts are in the thoughts and minds of God. So we ask him to show us his real thoughts. We can never stop thinking in the mind of God. Once we add that to us, we have to realize that sometimes our thoughts are inundated by the world and their ideas. And we have to bring ourselves back to the thoughts of God. How we feel about ourselves, how we feel about the day, our job, our mate, our children, those thoughts that just flow through our mind constantly all day long. And then we can bring it back and remember, God is the mind with which I think. So the thing is, ask God to show you the real thoughts. Now, you can go back to past thoughts that cover the truth in your mind and reach the eternal thoughts of who you really are in God's mind. Because God's mind is in your mind. We just have gotten so cluttered with thoughts, news, newspapers, and listening to conversations. And sometimes we forget that may not be the real truth. So you ask him, show me the real truth, the real thoughts about whatever situation you're in. Under all the senseless thoughts, mad ideas which flow through your brain and clutter your mind, we have to bar through that, scratch through that and come back to the thoughts of God, the way they were in the beginning. They are there in your mind now, completely unchanged. They will always be in your mind, exactly as they always were. Everything you had thought since then will change. All the things that you thought, as you practice this lesson, will become clear to you, and the real identity will come through. It's like, will the real thoughts come? Yes, they will. And one day you'll realize that the thoughts that you think are holy. Not all that, um, may not be like a preacher or a teacher, but they'll be clear thoughts. Clear thoughts of love, forgiveness, hope, faith, that all things are correct, just as they are, and they will get better. These things will change as you become changed. Let's go on to the lesson, right? It is this foundation towards which the exercises for today are directed. Here is your mind joining with the mind of God. Here are your thoughts, one with Him. For this kind of practice, only one is necessary. Approach it as you would an altar dedicated in heaven to God the Father and to God the Son, to God the Spirit. For such is the place you are trying to reach. You will probably be unable to yet to realize how high you can try to go. Yet, even with the little understanding we have already gained, we should be able to remind ourselves that this is no idle game, but an exercise in holiness and an attempt to reach the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven. Really? Oh, Brian, I am grateful. Yes, you ask and he will give you exactly what you want, Brian. That's the way to go. Ooh, look at you, a truth student. Look at you. I am proud of you. I am proud of you. Yeah, we have to ask him for what we want because the world is chaos. Remember, he tells you to, what does he say? Be not of this world in thoughts or actions or any of that. So you have to ask to show you the truth. In shorter periods today, you can always remind yourself and repeat that little thought. God is the mind with which I think. Show me the truth. Just breathe it in. God is the mind with which I think. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So that we can connect and reconnect to God. That's our journey here. That's what we do here. We learn lessons, we overcome things, we become more clear in our thoughts and our visions. We know exactly who we're here to be. In anything that we do, that's the graciousness of these lessons. God is amazing. He has thoughts you're thinking with him. So I am RosaJ, doing it God's way. And remember, God is the mind with which I think. I like to close my eyes when I say that. God is the mind in which I think. And when I close my eyes, I see darkness. And in the middle of that darkness, there is light. And in my meditation, I bring that light forward. I focus on that light. And the mantra for today is God is the mind with which I think. And breathe and stretch and have a good God day. Thank you for joining me. Go to my YouTube channel, RosaJ Hodge.tv. Subscribe and follow me on the I Am Affirmation page. I'm going to change over to that page. So like it and follow because that's where I'm going to end up by the end of this year. I am Rosa J. And Rosa is with an H, RosaHJ. I am Rosa J, doing it God's way each and every day. Have a good God mind thinking day. See you tomorrow. Brian, keep up the good work. You are going. I looked at your page the other day. I like that sister who comes on at 4 o'clock in the morning on your page. I listen to her as I walk down my hill to get to my little job that I have. Who is It's a great thing. So thank you. Keep up the good work. Share this out. Be blessed.